Hi, everybody. How are you, Janine?
Hi, honey. I'm doing
Hi.
good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for today. It has been very wild, and we're just going to get right into this. This is called the Pulse, and Janine and I are going to talk about certain things. And you had a really great topic to bring up at the beginning, so I'm excited to hear what that is.
Yeah, I feel like we're being physically maneuvered or molded. It feels like a molding, and it's over a period of time. And it might have something to do with, I think energies coming into the planet or how the planet's changing energetically. Uh, it feels like, well, my sleep patterns are horrendous. But if you think about it, they used to call the sleep patterns used to be different in the Middle Ages. So people say. You used to go to bed really early with the sun going down and then get up around 2 a.m. after like a solid little block of sleep. Get up about two, putter around, maybe one or two in the middle of the night, and then you could even like do a few things. I get up and get on my computer. Some people even have a slight meal, supposedly. I don't ever feel hungry at that time, so I don't do that. And then I go back to sleep till about 5 or 6 a.m. So I'll take 2 hours in the middle of that and just be up. And it seems to work, but it is very strange. And in a way, my body's just sort of getting used to it. And I feel like there could be something changing with us because it's been 2 solid weeks that's been happening for me. So at first I was like, okay, this is bad sleep. But now I'm getting used to it. I'm kind of embracing it. So I think a really important thing to do right now is embrace the new ways our body wants to be. Also, my aches and pains, they'll really come up when I decide in my mind. So I get up and I'm like, oh, I had a bad sleep. All of a sudden, I ache everywhere. But if as soon as I was kind of practicing thought, okay, as soon as I got up and assuming that, you know what, it was an interesting sleep and maybe it's just what I needed. As soon as I got into that mindset, I didn't have the aches and pains. So I feel like we're being molded and shaped, and we're probably going into this new world we're entering. I feel like we're going into it with a whole different way of being. And I think the more we embrace it and don't fight it, and the more we like allow for the changes in our bodies, I think we're being attuned intuitively. You and I, we've both been getting that. All the shows we talk about that. I feel the ability to manifest has quickened, and we have to be really careful where our thoughts go and linger on because we're going to manifest that. Yeah, that's just something that I've been feeling lately.
I love it. So the things that were popping into my head as you were talking is we are divinely designed. So when you think about the way the whole earth is set up, like the mushrooms, the plants, us, the different animals, everything has a design to it. And a lot of it is just slightly different than something next to it, maybe, like especially with plants and animals and everything. And I think we're being divinely redesigned right now. So going back to our original blueprint, and there's all these frequencies that have to be inputted while we do that. And the other day there was this thing on the Schumann resonance, and it looked like a candelabra. I don't know if you saw that, but it
Mhm.
looked like maybe the Torah or like a candelabra. And then also there's this being that's supposed to be a goddess that somebody else connected it to. And she has all these different heads. And when I saw that, I was like, it's a message. It's divine. Like we're being recalibrated right now. And it's just, we're just being shown that, yes, this is working out. And I think a lot of us, we're spiritual, we're not religious. So we don't believe in the way that we've been taught and we don't need a middleman. And that's really important to remember that you're a sovereign being and you're not giving away your energy to other stuff. So when that candelabra thing came up, I was like, okay, how do I talk about that?
Yeah.
But I feel like that's part of it. Like we're really redoing our whole system right now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the candelabra, I mean, I feel like those symbols, we don't know really where did they originate, right? Different cultures and religions took hold of them and used them for their own, but honestly, they could be coded in ways we haven't discovered yet. Do you know what I mean? So those shapes and even numbers that people are offended by or scared of, it's like, you know what? Let's reclaim these things and let's work with them in a new way. Like everything's can be new because what's been before really has to be. We have to step around it, literally. Like if you can't take it completely down, you step around it and create your own thing right alongside it, and like it dissipates as you recreate. And I feel like I've been doing that my whole life because of the way I've created my work. For instance, I've never ever worked in a 9 to 5 or done anything where I got a monthly or weekly paycheck or whatever. It doesn't work like that for me. It's always been kind of a hustle, I guess, because being a full-time card reader for years and years and years, it's literally like a hustle in a way, because you have to get out there, you have to get known. Back in the day when I started, I had just a placard out, like a sign with my face on it. So a lot of people saw my face for years. A big plaque with my face on it. It's like Tarot by Janine. It was outside. It was right on 10th Street. If anyone knows, in Kensington area, if anyone knows Calgary, 10th Street in Kensington, right around that intersection, just up from there in front of the New Age bookstore. And I was just putting it out there, and I was always working beside the system. So the system didn't really invite me in, which I'm now thankful for. I used to be mad about it, but like, so I couldn't, like, my bank never recognized me enough to get a credit card for years and years and years. Like in my late 50s, I finally got a credit card. Like it was outrageous, or could have been mid 50s. And it's like, and then like all my real abundance happened after my second Saturn return, which is outrageous. And it all happened because I didn't try to join the system. I didn't fight. I created alongside it because I wasn't welcomed in there being a full time card reader. I didn't tick any boxes. So, banking systems never liked me very much. I didn't even have an overdraft at the bank. A lot of people get overdrafts automatically. Nobody ever gave me an overdraft. Like, so I had a couple of things not going for me. Single mom and tarot card reader. So it's like, okay, a lot of my monies back in the day, throughout my career, about 70% of my career was cash. Okay, so like I said, I didn't tick the box, and I didn't like the medical system, so I almost never interchanged there. I never went there. I never, with my daughter, she didn't have any vaccinations. Like I was totally outside the system, but I managed really well. I feel like more people need to understand you can create your own reality here, but you have to be brave, not be afraid to be set apart. If you're trying to be like just accepted by just regular, like kind of sheeples, guess what? Yeah, not really. Okay. But if you're brave enough, you can absolutely, a lot of us truthers are doing it now.
We really are. It definitely shifted. So for lots and lots of years, I worked in corporate America, but I grew up with the hippies. So, we had electricity, but we didn't have a lot of indoor plumbing. So, like, we had an outhouse, we had the whole routine, and that's how I grew up. And we were always kind of seen as a second class citizen when we went to school and stuff. So, I definitely really tapped into a lot of different things as a hippie kid and then fit into the system for a while, but never really liked it and never enjoyed it. But all of us kids, the three of us, had regular jobs, and my brothers still do. But it's kind of an amazing thing when you break out of it, too. So don't be afraid to break out of it. The universe will support you in it. And when you do what you're passionate about, it really works. So, doing all the crazy stuff that I do, like people ask me a question and it pops into my head and I answer. And we're doing these things that people think are not normal, but we don't care if people think they're normal.
Yeah.
So, it's really good just to let go of what anybody else thinks and to be
Mhm.
yourself, to really truly be you. And I think it's beautiful that you did that your whole adult life. And that's tough to do. And I definitely did it all in my childhood. And I think that's why I decided to go into regular life as an adult and then
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm done. So it's really been a ride. And no matter how you come through it, just really look at your own life and see how what can I do that I'm passionate about, and don't be afraid to learn new things to change your whole world because you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people got forced out of the system during the lockdown period, the pandemic lockdowns. They got forced out, and they struggled. Some of them are still struggling, but a lot of them excelled. They found that I have a good friend who does beautiful jewelry. In fact, she made these
Oh,
earrings, and she
lovely.
makes
Yeah.
yeah, beautiful silver jewelry. And she was in a corporate job, and the pandemic took that away from her. I don't remember the details of how that happened, but anyway, so I can't speak to that. But she does say, okay, I couldn't work anymore as soon as the lockdowns happened, and she had to find a new way to make a living. And she had always liked to make jewelry, so she just got really, really dedicated. Set herself up a little studio on. They have a little property in the Haida Gwaii, right on, really close to the North Beach. Set up a studio and just a little shack, and it became her new livelihood was jewelry making. And she found that, and she's now an accomplished jeweler, and she found that so much freedom came along with that, so much creativity, and within about a year she was making as much as she was the top end of her career for all those years she had worked in the regular jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely do better now than I did in a regular job. And the regular jobs don't feel secure. Like
Yeah.
they don't feel good because you have somebody lording over you, and hierarchy is ending.
Hmm.
So having a boss that like tells you it's got to be this way, you go do it, dress this way, do this, like nobody wants to do that anymore. And that a lot of young people have figured that out. Like right now, they're not interested. They're just not doing it. So
Yeah.
they're finding their way in a completely different way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're living in vans, buses.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of them are becoming self-sufficient, like finding talents and pursuing them, like, and I feel like that is so important. Like every single person has something like a mission inside them. And sometimes you can live out your mission and still align with sort of what has been the corporate world, right? Because you can, a lot of people incorporate that mission into what they do, so it's almost like they're a plant in a big corporation. They're this planted wise one, and they help a lot of people around them. Okay, there's that. So I'm not taking away from people that work in the corporate world, but they're like these these gurus there, or they're silently bringing up the vibration in an office setting, right? There's that, okay, because it can be really oppressive unless you're really trying to shine your true light. And I've seen people shining their beautiful light even in an oppressive situation. It's actually very healing to go into. I've had really great exchanges even with government people who you can see the light in their eyes. And so I'm not taking away from, there's beautiful people working in some of these places, and they're very necessary. It's almost like they're a light there, and they're bringing up, like I said, the vibration. But for most people, it's really hard. It's oppressive for them. They're too worried about the image and how they're presenting. Are they going to be, are they going to be kept on? Are they going to be forced to take things nowadays, like physical body things, like what happened in the lockdowns and after? Like, are they going to be forced to do things, that they didn't sign up for when they took the job, that sort of thing? All of that sort of time that happened in 2019, 2020, 21, 22, I feel like it woke a lot of people up to their true mission, and they stepped away from it, and the brave ones just embraced it. And I've seen a lot of really cool YouTubers that came out of it. For instance, truthers in the truther community is absolutely full of people that even had corporate jobs and came over. Like, even the way I was YouTubing really changed in lockdown, because I got into the truther community, and I wasn't before. I was doing royals, although that turned into truth. And because it started out innocently liking the royals and having no clue what I was getting into. And then boom, I'm in just a hot mess of the yuckiness that is the royals. Yeah, so that I actually, in a way, I was becoming a truther without even realizing.
That
uh,
is so funny. I mean, they're so icky, and they're not here anymore. But like to have
yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah,
Um,
just stepping in that pile. Ooh,
you're like, oh, well, what is this?
yeah, yeah.
That's so funny. So I would love to ask your cards a question um, about timelines. And I've been seeing two pretty distinct timelines. One of them is like the people that are buying into the movie, and they're in their new awakening right now, and they're pretty freaked out. And then there's the people that have been pretty aware of it for years, at least since 2020, most of them. And they're like, this is just a movie. What's the problem? Why are you upset? Or, oh no, that's part of the movie. Because there's so many things showing up now. So, how do you stay in your highest timeline and not get sucked into the fear?
Oh boy, yeah, good question. Yeah. Look at that. That's a passionate, excited. So stay passionate, stay creative. Like, allow yourself to be passionate about your beliefs. Like, this card's really like, I know it's like on fire in a way. It's on fire. So staying and keeping passionate about. And I definitely do that. I do that by being up really early now. I'm looking at the newsreels and still getting really excited about other people's great videos. I'm engaging in, right. So if you just try to shut it all out, I think that you'll be in trouble. You need to engage in how it's looking, even if it is like a lot of it's theater. You need to actually look at why, and digging around in why is that? Why are they presenting that theater? You have to stay curious and stay excited about it. Okay, and not walk away, shun it, or like for long periods of time. It's good every once in a while, like like 1 day a week or 2 days a week, definitely take some time off the newsreels, etc. But if you're completely shunning it now because you're just sick of the movie or whatever, so the black pilled thing, not going to work. You're going to get really down in different timelines that you don't want to be in if you're black pilling. Okay, you guys know what we mean by black pilling. When everything's like, because you're so disgusted with everything, now you don't trust anything and you find everything to be just so appalling you can't work it. Do you know what I mean? So finding and trying to be still curious and excited about why are they doing things the way they are. That's keeping me in this game. That's what keeps me in, just trying to figure it out. Of course, that Scorpio moon of mine really helps because it's always trying to dig. And I haven't found what I think is actually the full truth yet. And so I'll keep digging till I do. And I might not ever, but it keeps me digging anyway and keeps me enthusiastic. So this was in the past. So that's inner fighting. And it has been hard. It has been hard because we have so many energies coming against the truther community and the information here. So many putting down Q and trying to rip down anything that sounds like White Hat Alliance information or whatever. Like so much, it's gotten to be hard to stay in there. Okay, because even their actions seem so ridiculous. Sometimes you're like, okay, these guys are off course. But what happens is I always check in with the cards, and so using your intuitive tools would be a good idea because I find that there's a layered reason why they're doing what they're doing, even if on the surface it looks absurd, right? Um,
Yeah.
okay, so here we have that would be in the middle. So that would be the fool, and that's how everybody else is. Let people let go of trying to control what other people are doing. You will be surprised. I feel like this card can be surprising at who actually comes over and starts talking to you, or who knows more than you think they do. I was sitting next to a lovely woman about my age group on the plane. I just came back from, so I, on my way to Vancouver, and then I hopped on another plane and I went to Calgary to visit my dad, my elderly dad, with my kids. But on the way to Vancouver, I sat next to a woman who was absolutely like fascinating and had a different take, but very similar, had come to the same conclusions without going down the Q rabbit hole and without going down all the rabbit holes I've gone down, came to the same conclusions that all of politics is a big theater, and that likely Trump wasn't as bad as they were making him out to be. And she came to that without watching truther videos. She came to that all on her own just by watching what's out there, even mainstream news. Mostly she was watching, came to that conclusion. Okay, so that is a smart person. And I filled in some of her gaps and sent her places, and who knows where she'll end up. But wow, like she came to that without any of the community we're all counting on to help us and hold us up. She came there all by herself, and she felt lonely there because a lot of people didn't get it, right? But some of her friends are in the same spot she is. So I'm just like, wow, when I heard that, I just couldn't believe it. I was so excited. Okay, here's the near future outcome. This is like a revelation card. There will be events, or an event in particular, and I've been getting this for a long time, that'll get everybody on page. That's coming. So that's the near future. That's coming, and it'll likely concern finances. Both these cards around it are concerning finance. Okay, so there's that also that could bring a lot of people onto page and quickly get them on your timeline. So you staying enthusiastic and knowing in your deep self, like stay personally connected and grounded with what you know to be true, and not getting swayed over just because it may be unpopular, or all the cards are stacked against it, but your intuition still says. You got to always check back in with what do your instincts say. Stay enthusiastic and stay present in the now too. Like if you try to get to into the future and like keep the big picture, but stay in the present moment, what's really actually happening around you in your life, stay there too. That really helps too.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with that. It's so important to not get caught up in the details of everything
Yeah.
because we really do. That's a great reading. And it's so important for right now, you guys, like just love yourself, know that you're protected, and just keep on going and enjoy the moments. Like, there's a lot of crazy stuff going on, and people are like, oh, well, this happened, and now I don't know who to trust about this, and it's usually Trump. And it's like he's revealing all kinds of things. And one thing that we can't do is worship anybody anymore. So I think they're trying to also break that down because in the future, who's going to take care of the world? Who's going to sit on councils? Who's going to change the way we do things? You,
Yeah.
you know, we
Yeah.
will. So,
Yeah, we have to see him as a human, and I think it's right now they're playing out a brand. I mean, he talks about central casting constantly. You got to believe he means it. Central casting is real. He's part of it. There's at least four versions of him, from what I can see,
yeah,
and yeah, so they're using his brand, and they're using lots of people's brands, and they're showing us a lot of things that have already happened in the past, how it happened, and preparing and like setting the stage for these big events or event that's going to happen. And I feel like the event could be just so shattering of the realities a lot of people are still stuck in, and that's why this community is important, because we'll be helping with the fallout, I'm sure.
yeah, yeah. And the rebuild,
Yeah.
because the rebuild will be a totally different kind of world.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm certainly not interested in any of the systems that we've dealt with. They're all, and they feel really fake now. I don't know if you've been in like a medical, like a hospital, visited anybody but
Yeah,
when you
we'll
go into
stay
one of
away,
those
but
places,
yeah.
yeah, it doesn't feel real. Like my dad was in one, at the beginning of the year, and I got off the elevator and we started walking down the hallway and the floor moved. And I'm like, okay, we're on the 11th floor. What is going on? And it's not real. And I said, how many people are holding this reality together? And there was only three people that were real in that hospital. And my dad
Wow.
was one of them, So my mom and I walk in the room and it finally like gets more solid. But can you
Yeah.
imagine? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So these realities are falling apart
Yeah.
because people don't want them anymore. And also the frequencies don't support them.
Yeah. Yeah, and the more we stop supporting them energetically or fearing them,
Mhm.
like a lot of people fear, they owe money to this agency or that agency. The less fear I've found, and I'm not a financial advisor, just going to say, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying spiritually, the practice of not fearing these big, scary agencies that we now know to be totally fraudulent. Like it's like, that. Okay. So just stay in your personal knowing, and trust that the universe will things will shift just exactly when you need it to, but you have to really be in that trust place. It's hard to get there, but took me my whole life, but I'm telling you, I'm real good at it now. I feel good about it. It's freeing. It's truly freedom. It is freedom. Lack of fear of dominating energies that are wrong and in the wrong and against humanity. Okay, as soon as you stop fearing them and playing their game, yeah, the reality shifts, just like you said, the floor goes out from under them.
Mhm. Yeah, it's crazy how that can happen. And a lot of people have gotten weird letters. And I know right now there's a lot of scammy stuff going on. And I don't know about in your comments, but a lot of my Rumble stuff, there's all these weird, they're trying to get them into this Telegram group or that. There's a lot of scammy emails. So whenever we're on the verge of something big, like a big shift, all the icky stuff comes up to
Yep.
the surface, and we have to say no to it and we have to transform it again. And another thing that's happening is we're almost out of Mercury retrograde, which I know, which is like a rewind of clean it up. It's like a cleanup period. And it really does mess with the electronics too, but like it's such a dramatic period because you're going through things that you didn't want to look at before and you're kind of being forced. And I feel like the world has been forced to look at stuff in such a massive way that I think as soon as this Mercury retrograde, which I think ends at the end of this week, I feel like we're going to accelerate again.
Hmm.
And it's going to be a lot of things rolling forward. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know if you want to draw cards on that, but I feel like people would love to know that.
sure. So, how will we phrase the question?
So, how massive will the roll forward be over this December?
Okay. I just chose three cards.
Awesome.
Ace, so absolutely it will be. And a lot of it'll be more informational. So either people coming to awe moments and revelations or literally dropping news, right? Or both of those things. And now the big revelation looks like who's in cahoots with who. So we'll find out different people have been good. We thought were bad. Different people were bad. We thought were good. Yeah. So the interesting alliances and awarenesses of who's really who and who's doing what. And here we've got our deep state card. So I think a lot more information about this bunch, okay, and how they've controlled us. This guy's really controlling, okay, and it would be like all like when badly aspected, this guy's like every kind of officialdom would get this card, okay, and we now know that all of those officialdoms have been playing us. Okay, so the big news drop is just how we've been played, who's been playing us, okay, and who's actually in cahoots with who. So I feel like it'll be a really big revelation, and mostly for those who are willing to hear this. Do you know what I mean? Because we're still going to have people unwilling. There's still going to be people in denial, and I think they'll really have a hard time when this event I've been talking about. I don't know exactly when, but we've been talking for years about events happening, and there has been some, but I feel like there's still going to be one. It's going to be both um, natural, but then the White Hat Alliance knows about it because they use technology. We won't say the name of it, but you guys probably know technology to see that future, and they already knew. And both the bad guys and the good guys in this situation were in the fighting that they've been doing together. I feel like they're really prepared, and they're going to jump on and really help transition the world in a fast way once everyone gets looking at the same thing, because that's the big problem right now is there's a whole lot of people not even looking at what we've been looking at, and they all have to get looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think too, as we go forward, there'll be less and less of the crowd. So less and less NPCs because there's a lot of holograms out there now. Like when you go to town and you see all the traffic, like, is it really there? One of the funniest things is if I'm with my husband, there's always medium-sized traffic because I'm manifesting no traffic and he's manifesting high traffic. And so it's in the middle. When I'm by myself, there's almost nobody out in the world, when I go to town. And
Yeah.
then if he goes by himself, he only talks about how bad the traffic was. So really think about, do I need all that noise around me? Because I think as we go through this process, a lot of disappearing of holographic beings will start to happen because we have
I've
other
even
beings
noticed
coming in. Yeah.
I've even noticed like close people are no longer close. leaving your peripheral, and no need to, even though you loved them and spent time, years, even friends. Okay, but you're no longer even remotely on the same page. So it's kind of not, refreshing in a way, because it made room for. So that happened to me recently, where somebody really close, who I still always love in my heart, part of my family, but absolutely seeing things on opposite ends of the spectrum in this world we're in right now, and so making it very difficult to actually to understand each other, and a lot of friction, and that's gone now. And I absolutely am so appreciative, and I'm not feeling lonely for that energy. Like, it's perfect, and it made room for even that new friend on the plane. You know what I mean? And like new energies coming in, opening up to people who actually see the world the way you do. So that's almost a whole other world. You could be in a whole other world when you got a room full of those people. It'll be. I can't wait. Actually, yeah.
It's so much fun. When we were in Ireland together, like you get into a mode with other people that are aware of the things that you're aware of. Like it's so easy. The conversations are easy. It's more fun. It's
Yeah.
relaxing versus like pulling at you. Like it
Yeah.
really changes things. And I've noticed a lot of people like the lady on the plane are manifesting people showing up. Like with our Airbnb in Italy, this guy was totally awake, but he had nobody to talk to. And then all of a sudden, we show up in his Airbnb, and he was there every single day talking to us.
Yeah.
And there was only one person that could understand him. So she did most of the talking to him, because he didn't know English. And it was such a beautiful experience for him, I think, just to have people around, like to know that he wasn't all alone in the world. Yeah,
Wow.
so funny. And these things are happening because it's like, okay, you're manifesting that,
Yeah.
you know? It's really kind of gorgeous. I think
Uh-huh.
the world is shifting in our favor in such a big way right now. And enjoying the ride, even if it looks gross, like we know the gross stuff has to come up. So just say, oh, good. I'm glad that's out there. I'm glad they're
Yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah.
I do like a little celebration when I see that stuff. I don't get upset about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Celebrating the wins is really important, like, or the levels we achieve in knowingness. Like, look how much stuff is really out there now. We've got all kinds of drops in, even in mainstream, even if people are trying to ignore it, it's in their face anyway,
Yeah.
right? So just it's so heartwarming to read something that's even close, not maybe entirely mainstream, but that's talking about the truth of what happened in the pandemic and everything. It's like, whoa, thank you. Thank you for saying that. Thank you
Hmm.
for talking about those things.
Yeah. It's time to release all that stuff,
Yeah.
so it's like a cleanse. We're doing all this stuff for our bodies, a lot of us right now, like going on parasite cleanses and doing all this kind of stuff. And that's what it is. It's a big cleanse. And you have to do that when you clean the house or when you clean, your system, like whatever you're doing, you've got to get all the gunk out. And that's what we're doing right now. And I feel like we're in that moment that we need to just keep the momentum and keep being excited and keep saying yes, because I would like to get through it all the way myself. Like I'm ready for this spiral to actually culminate with what we're doing and the event. And I feel like we're actually in it in such a big way right now. And as we go through it, then it's going to be time to rebuild. So start thinking about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So should we do anything else? Do you have any other things that you want to bring
Well,
up?
let's pull three cards on yeah, just supporting, spiritually supporting us, this, everybody watching, through December, because Yeah, now we're facing another month. Don't the months fly by? Like, honestly, I feel like we just talked about, oh, we're, just entering into November. Now we're entering December. It feels like it was like 4 days long, like I tell you. That's how we're
Really
in the
fast.
quickening for sure. We're in the
Mhm.
quickening. Okay, let's have a look. Let's just do three cards on what does the universe want to say to us for support? Wow, very physical cards there. And then an intellectual one. Swords are thoughts and words. And pentacles are physical things like your physical body, your physical health, physical abundance, things you need, nourishment like that, nourishing your body physically. So she is a manifester. Okay, the thing I love about her, she knows, she has confidence. So she's not sitting around worrying or fretting. She sits and imagines having or imagines being in the place she wants to be, and it becomes real around her. So she manifested that pentacle on her lap, that child she wanted, that pregnancy, that house she wanted, that that couch, whatever it is, or
Yeah.
that spiritual level she wanted, or that calmness, whatever you're trying to manifest. For everybody, it's different. She's manifesting, and I'm telling you, we're getting better at that. So to own that your thoughts and words and intentions and how where she's focused on something, and therefore it is. Okay, so if you're focused on, like you were saying, honey, your partner, he focuses on, okay, the traffic's going to be bad. He probably talks about it a lot. Therefore, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're imagining, envisioning, and believing it could be that you could have a miracle and have no traffic hardly, and then therefore it is. Like I'm telling you, that is true and real. That shows us we're in a matrix of our own
Mhm.
creation. Okay, and I think the more we realize how powerful we are that way, the better. And we're really, really coming into that time where we can use all of our abilities here. Okay. And then so it reminds us that we're creating our reality. And this card's about safety, comfort, but also he takes really carefully one step at a time towards good health. Okay. So you also mentioned that, honey, a lot of people are putting efforts into just generally living better, thinking about like, even if it's just one step, like recently I went to a ranch close by and got all the kinds of beef that they sell in all the ways they cut it. Okay, because I know the ranch, I know the good people that run it, I know how they treat their animals, and I am a meat eater, and I'm not going to apologize for that. That's just where I'm sitting, and I believe in it. It feels best for my body, and anyway, so yeah, I get a lot of flack for that sometimes on these videos, but you guys know what I
Me
like if you're
too.
a meat
I get
eater,
it. Yeah,
right?
I've had that.
Yeah. So it's about carefully and just knowing intuitively what's right for you, whatever that is. So if it isn't doing that, how I'm doing it, do it your way, right? But take good care of yourself and even take one step towards that in December, like that's even further than where you've gone before with it. Also, seeing the big picture. So stay big picture because as things get crazier and crazier, you have to remember the big picture is we're literally they're moving out of troubled water. The world is moving out of troubled water. Like I got so many years ago on that big vision that I've been talking about for years, where I was on that road trip. The road signs got worse and worse and worse, whereas the road got better and better and better. I think we're still on that trip. Okay, we haven't seen the end of that trip. And when I finally pulled into Calgary, the roads were absolutely perfect, as in there was no snow or ice. But the last sign I saw before that looked like we were going to have a big winter storm. It was like warning, warning, and it was the weirdest thing because all the signs were like that, but the road was getting better and better. It was like they forgot to take down the warning signs. I feel like we're in that now. We're in that. Like, look at how alarming everything looks. It looks like we're all about to get what is that? That ID that nobody wants, the bad
Oh yeah,
one.
yeah.
We're all about to get but like if you look at it, every country looks like it went communist. Like it's absurd. Okay, so maybe not the US because they're, they got Trump in the lead there, but just still there's things going on in the US that look alarming. There's alarming things everywhere. And I feel like meanwhile, there's a big cleanup going on. And I feel like we're going to see that reality, even a little more of a glimpse of it in December, which I'm very excited for.
Mhm. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so excited right now. And as we go into 2026, I think it will still be kind of wild at the beginning, but I think as the months go by, like as we get into March and April, and we're actually going to have a spring that we appreciate in so many ways. And I feel like this is the time to celebrate ahead of time, celebrate all the information, celebrate all the good feelings that you have inside of you, and celebrate the future because it's really bright. Like, I feel like it's amazingly bright. Yeah.
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 Yay.
Yay. This was so fun. Thank you, Janine.
Yeah,
Loved
you
it.
just made my day here. It's pretty early, and I was actually in a bit of a grump, I got to be honest.
Oh,
And I was like trying to shake out of it. Yeah, like take my own advice there and thinking, realizing that you could create a really bad day by being in that kind of energy and just being on the show and feeling all the love and having everybody support each other here and just talking to you, honey. Like I feel great now. I'm going to have a better day.
awesome. Awesome. Me too. Yeah, it's a beautiful time, you guys, to be alive. So
Yeah.
celebrate it, be happy, and sending you all so much love. Bye.